What's going on, everyone? It's Winslow, and yeah, if you're new here, welcome. If you've been here for a while, do your regular thing, switch to the next tab so you can just hear me talk while you do important stuff, you know? This video, I kind of want to talk about copying. And I don't mean in the sense of let's talk about who's copying who and, you know, how Liquid is kind of boring right now because no one's really inventing anything new and all this stuff. No, we're not going the whole controversial route. I just want to talk about copying in like the context of learning, you know, to find your own sound, growing, progressing as a producer, which is the fun educational route. So I'd be lying, all of us would be lying if we said we've never copied anyone. I mean, I've copied, just pick a producer within drum and bass. I've copied them in some form, whether it be outright like stealing ideas or just like, hey, I like what they're doing, let me figure out a way to do that myself. And it goes from, this sounds like them, this sounds like me trying to be them. Now it's starting to sound a bit like me. Now this is my thing. You know, we all kind of traverse that like path of like progression. But in the meantime, you will come across like a lot of feelings of like, I'm not making anything that's, you know, what I want to make. I'm just copying somebody. And you know what? There's honestly nothing wrong with that because that is just the way things progress. I mean, you can pick out a few of my tunes that are copies, whether it's just like I said earlier, like kind of a homage. I don't know. That's a nice way of putting it. Or like straight up, I saw this thing worked, so I did this thing, and I want to be, you know, just jumping on the bandwagon like any roller or bootleg is right now.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
Yeah, so I'm talking as I usually do, but I'll just highlight some of the things I've done. If you're aware of any of my tunes, you've probably heard it, and I've talked about it a few more times, but I'm gonna like highlight specific things. So now you're not gonna be able to unhear like me stealing from Spectrasoul or me stealing from Spy. Yeah, and I say stealing like in a relative kind of way. I mean, let's listen, I'll play a clip. Let's listen to one of my tunes, Missed Signals, from a few years back. Who does that sound like? Like if you had to pick someone that wasn't me, who does that kind of sound like? Did you guess Spectrasoul? Then you win. You don't win anything, but I don't know. But there are a lot of things in there that are Spectrasoul-esque. I guess I was kind of diving into the discography around that time. It was the last album, How We Live, came out, and I was listening to that a bunch. And I mean, if you know, I'm a huge Spectrasoul now Workforce fan, and because the drums and the groove and everything I like in my music now is what I had no idea how to do back then. So who was the best example? Probably Spectrasoul. It's not a blatant copy, but there's some things. So specific examples of me borrowing from Spectrasoul within this tune, Missed Signals. The drum groove. If you listen to the album How We Live and you listen to the tune Heartbeat, it's basically the same drum groove. I had never heard one like that before that tune. And just being honest, when I was making the tune, I was like, I want to make a groove just like that. That's why it sounds like a dollar store version of Spectrasoul, because I still didn't know how to really do it. Like, it's kind of there, but the groove, it doesn't, like if I tried to do it now, I could do it because like I have experience and I know my like workflow of creating drum grooves. That's a terrible way to say it, but you know what I mean? Like I can do it now. But then it was just like, oh, let me just copy Spectrasoul. Check out maybe this little bit right here. Sound familiar? The little filtery bass step. That is like in almost all Spectrasoul. That's like their sound. Like if you listen to Workforce tunes now, he still has it in there. And I just ripped that idea out of there. I didn't know how to even do like filtery kind of bass things. Like I was still just the basic boy, you know, flipping presets, but here I go just copying something I like. And it was, in the sense, it was then a blatant copy. But, you know, to wrap it all into what I'm trying to get at in this video, is it's okay to copy things, because in that process, I learned how to, you know, automate filters a bit better to get like a sharp kind of resonant bass sound. I learned how to make that bass sound. And then in future tracks and projects, I kind of made it my own thing if you start listening through. But the point is, it started there as a copy because I just wanted a sound I didn't know how to do. And I wanted to, it wasn't like in this case, it's not like a, let me copy Spectrasoul so people can be like, oh, Winslow's like Spectrasoul, so we like him now. No, it was just like, I like this sound, but I don't know how to do it. And I would have never thought of it on my own. So let me just try it a few times. And there's nothing wrong with that if you're honest with it sometimes. Like you can say something is more of your influence if you know you kind of take it and then make it your own. But if you're straight up grabbing something, every foghorn sound available right now on presets, then it's not really yours, you know? Yeah, I mean, the pitch down vocal too, that's a Spectrasoul thing. I mean, that was like a 2016, 2015 liquid kind of thing back then anyway. Which takes me to my next person I stole from, and we all have in some shape or form. Artificial intelligence, Dawn Wall, the integral sound. Like, come on, like the big splashy washy breaks, the tribal sounds, big atmospheres. Everyone and their mother wanted to sound like Dawn Wall, because I mean, if we can't figure out who they are, technically, we might as well try to sound exactly like them, and then you get a whole bunch of copies. Just straight up, I'm not gonna name names, but I mean, you know who you are. Some of you actually made it to integral, which is not a big deal. I mean, do your thing, but when you sound exactly like for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other people, it's not my thing. But I get it. The point is, I copied it too. And I tried. I sent email after email digging through to try to find who was in charge of integral. I was like, listen to my tune. And sometimes they get back to me like, yo, this is cool, just keep at it. And then sometimes like no response at all. I mean, back then, years ago, I was just like, yo, I mean, all these other people are doing it. Why can't I get through to you guys? Me now is just like, you're doing exactly what you don't like half of the people who send you tracks do. Just copying something that is the flavor of the month, is popular. Yeah, you can do it all right, but so can 100 other people. So there's really no reason to pick you out of the bunch. Examples of tunes, there's Hopes Deleted, Astrology Apology. Yeah, it was a learning process. Yeah, I mean the educational part. So I learned to make breaks like that, because before I couldn't. Like layered, not washy, but nice, a big like clap sound, learning to put reverb and stuff within drums. A nice kind of, not boomy, but kind of a full sounding, really takes up the low end, not dance like kick, but you know what I mean. Reese bass, it kind of filters and goes crazy everywhere. The tribal aspect of things. I learned how to do that and implemented it into some of my tunes later on that were more mine than copies. But I started from, hey, I like this, so let me just steal this and more or less pawn it off as my own. And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you admit that that's what you were doing, because in your learning process, you're going to copy and you're going to figure out how to make that thing your own, and then it will be yours, you know? Ideally, you know? I mean, I steal as in S-T-I-L-L, still take things that I hear from other producers and try to make them my own. But because I'm more experienced now, it's a shorter process. I can be like, hey, I like that kind of drums. I know exactly what to do and how to do it and make it my own. I can confidently say I have my own sound now, and that's because of all this copying and figuring out these iterations of me figuring out how to make something else that I like, something that I do. And that was a Winslow staple, Winslow sound or whatever. Like, I'm not the first person to swing the drums, but I am the first person to do it good. No, I'm just kidding. I'm the first person to do it like I do it, in a sense. I hope if any of this makes sense. Like, the point is, you're going to copy. You're going to feel like you're copying. You're going to feel like I don't know what my identity is as a producer. You copy, you steal, you take the time, you learn how to make it your own. Now it's your own. That's all I'm saying. So if you keep that in mind while you're writing, maybe going through this right now, hopefully it gives you a bit more assurance into what you're doing. Maybe you see yourself as just, I'm copying this person because I don't know any better. Give it the time, and it will be, I copied this person. Now I do know a little bit better, and now I sound like this, which kind of, references that, but in my own way, It's like in school, they're like, tell me what you read in your own words. Paraphrase, that's the word. Our styles are paraphrases of things we've listened. No, I can't pull that one off today. How about some honorable mentions before we close this video out of people that I've copied, such as Spy on the Electricity, anybody on the North Quarter, Integral Artists. I mean, it can be labels, it can be specific people. Micah's, Caliber, obviously, Urban Dawn. Have you heard my Home Alone EP? That's kind of like Poundland Urban Dawn right there, if I'm being honest. But again, I learned a whole bunch of stuff and it was fun writing tracks, and I made them myself, but it's still like Urban Dawn-esque. Winslow Dawn. Don't sue me, please. You can probably name an artist, and I've taken an idea from them at some point, whether it's Liquid, Neuro, Rollers, I don't care. Yeah, come on. So I'm not safe. I am a culprit as well of doing these things, but in the process you learn and blah blah blah. Yeah, that's the video. I hope you like it. Hope it made sense. Let me know what you think in the comments. Anyway, that's all I got today. If you've been seeing this spiffy shirt, Bad Snares Anonymous, it is available at the link in the description. And if you want to join, that's also there as well. And we got more stuff coming up, so big projects. Big things I want. No. That's another copying thing, but that's like an American without a Jamaican accent or heritage trying to get like a... No, it doesn't. Anyway, different video. Later.